When you hear the phrase "the game," it can mean a lot of different things. The rapper, different football games, basketball games, but I think if you're from the state of Ohio or the state of Michigan, you know what it means when we say the game. Now, individually, I, of course, think 1v2. But you think about the rivalry of Ohio State and Michigan, where I would say a lot of the sports world would say that that is one of maybe the greatest rivalries in all of sports. Yeah, you got the Subway Series. Yeah, you've got, I don't know, Chicago and Green Bay. You've got Dallas. But really, when you think about it, Ohio State, Michigan, what that game means. You got Woody. You got Bo. You've had the players, the Heisman Trophy winners that have played in that game. And what the game used to mean, because it usually meant you were going off to a national championship. Or back in the voting days, you needed that to go win the championship, go to a bowl game. It's so different now. With the 12-team playoffs, we got the new rankings last night. No real upheaval on that. But it does take a little bit of a difference on it. There are still people so ingrained about beating Michigan, they would sacrifice national championships for it. And that's why people are so on Ryan Day. Maybe it's because he doesn't have a ton of national championships, but you got a game Saturday that means so much to Ryan Day, to the fan base, to the players. Would you sacrifice that for national championships? So get you ready to go for that. Coming up this weekend, we got to go around the league. We'll get our picks in for Week 13 on the NFL. Full slate at Thanksgiving. We get a Black Friday game on Friday. Is that game on Amazon Prime or something like that?
Oh, dude,
I don't even know. You got to have all the networks. You got to have everything. So we'll get to our picks in the NFL coming up. Cavs back in action tonight, taking on those Atlanta Hawks. We'll build a little savory parlay up for that.
It is on Prime Video.
It is on Prime? Yeah. And again, you want to know why I think it's that way? Because Thursday night is on NBC. So Prime loses their Thursday night game. So here's your Black Friday game ready to go for that. So we'll get our selections in for that. Get our Cavs parlay for tonight as well. Got to sprinkle in some baseball. Blake Snell signing, but there's a move David Schoenfield has for the Guardians. We'll get to that. We got the bracket. We'll get to time up. Grid. Speaking of the grid, our giveaway is announced. We'll tell you what that is in just a second. Gearing up on the busiest bar night of the year. It is the eve of Thanksgiving, and we're happy to have you with us right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. Hey, is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you alongside. We're on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. You can always follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Big Play. Let me hit the retweet there on the stream. Boom,
yeah,
done.
Come on, man.
Sorry. Let's get all geared up. Had to get our picks in, but you're going to want to be following on Twitter. The tweet is out for our giveaway. Ryan and I got the Immaculate Grid last week, so that means a brand spanking new Donovan Mitchell jersey up for grabs. Ryan and I were searching for the City Connect uniforms, couldn't buy them.
They're gatekeeping them.
Why aren't they for sale?
I don't know.
Missed opportunity. So anyway, you got to go at Matt Fontana 83. Just hit the retweet on that and be following myself and Ryan. You can follow the show if you want to, but you got to retweet my tweet at Matt Fontana 83. Be following me and Ryan, and we'll get you the giveaway hooked up with that. Presented by our great friends at Fairway Ford, fairwayfordohio.com. Happy to have you along. Ohio State, Michigan, man. That phrase just gets something for it. And I know not everybody is an Ohio State fan, and I've had to explain this to people outside of the state, I guess. Did I go to Ohio State? No. Am I an Ohio State fan? Absolutely. And I think it just comes inherent with being born in the state of Ohio. I'll tell you a quick story. My buddy Chris, years ago, Ohio State played Toledo at the Brown Stadium. My friend Chris is a graduate of the University of Toledo. Guess what gear he wore to that game? Ohio State. He goes, I'm a bigger Ohio State fan than I am a Toledo fan.
That's
and
dirty.
I went to Toledo.
That's dirty.
If somehow Ohio State played Baldwin Wallace,
You'd be wearing Baldwin Wallace gear.
I'm rooting for Ohio State.
No, that's stupid.
What do you mean?
That's the stupidest thing.
Guess that's why I went to a D3 school. I don't got to worry
No,
about
like
it.
I totally understand that being an Ohio State fan, but you can't go against the school you went to.
He did. Ohio State very clearly won that game, too.
No,
so, he went as an Ohio State
you would
fan,
wear
and went to
Ohio
Toledo.
State gear if they were playing Baldwin Wallace.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. And I'm a proud Yellow Jacket, but I'm an Ohio State fan.
What?
I'm an Ohio State. So that's like when I explain that to people, they think it's so hard. When I go, it's just you're born in this state, and I get that there's rivalry and trust me, I know people that are born in this state that are Michigan fans, right? There's something, if you're born here, there's an inherent, I root for Ohio State. Like, there's just something there. One of my earliest sports memories is them winning the national championship over Miami. And obviously it was late. It was around New Year. And I'll never forget, we're sitting in my living room late at night. They win. And my mom, who likes sports but is not really all that, and she was even happy Ohio State won. And I was like, wow, that must be a big thing. Like, my mom's not a huge sports fan, and she was like, good for them. She was happy they won. So there's just something about being born here that I think lends you to being an Ohio State fan. Now, the issue with that is what? You get front runners. Because Ohio State has been good my entire life. Again, from being a sports fan. They've been in the national championship conversation. They went to 3 national championships in the 2000s. Won their one in 2015. Went to one other one.
And got smoked by Bama.
Smoked. Went to 2 other semifinals. One was the loss to Clemson. When frickin' Trevor Lawrence just ran for like 60 yards up the sideline.
Yes, I do remember that.
Or no, was that the national? No, that was a semifinal.
No, that was a semifinal.
That was a semifinal.
The only other natty that Ohio State went to in the playoff era was the Bama one, I believe. You won the one in 15.
That's right. Yeah, I think the only right,
absolutely smoked by Bama.
Right. And then I don't remember.
That was Devontae Smith the year he won a Heisman.
Oh yeah,
he
that's
was just
right. Yeah,
disgusting.
And then they went to the semifinal. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was it. So, I mean, they've had nothing but great success over the last 20 years. So it's hard because you're like, oh, man, I'm an Ohio State fan. And they look at you like you're a Red Sox fan or a Yankees fan or some front runner with Ohio State. But we're born and bred, for most of us anyway. Now, so I'm glad you're on this show, Ryan, for many reasons. You are not a you're not so, I don't think you're anti-Ohio State, but you're also not a fan.
No, I'm pretty objective. Like,
Yeah.
I understand Ohio State is, one of the most storied college programs there is in football and always one of the most talented. And this year they have as good a shot of any to win the Natty. But I'm not a fan.
No, that's fine. And that's why you got to keep me grounded on some of this.
And I can, admire and respect it as a Bearcat fan who, had my time in the spotlight for about 1 year. Then Fickle decided to leave and destroy my program.
That's
but that is what it is. I understand.
Programs like that, you build it up for a couple of years. You try to get your
stepping stone program.
I'm sorry. And that's the other hard thing. I'm not rooting for some middle meddling team, right? Like,
I am.
You're an Ohio State. I know. I'm sorry. It kind of is what it is. Ohio State, it's hard. It's not hard, but it's different for me because doing this job and being in Cleveland, I've got to look at the Guardians, Cavs, and Browns a little differently. And obviously, we talk Ohio State. I've covered Ohio State. But in my life, them and like the Blue Jackets are the 2 teams that I can just be a fan of. And again, we cover them, we talk about them.
Yeah, how are those Jackets doing?
They're actually not bad. They're off to a little start in the season. There's a little drama happening at the moment with one of their young prospects that they're trying to trade away, I guess.
Oh no, what's going on?
David Urich. He came up. He's like a top pick. He's some 6'4" huge defenseman. He's 21 years old. And all they've been doing is sending him down to the monsters here, and he's talking crap. Oh, I deserve to be up here. I deserve to be doing this. So all the scuttlebutt, shout out to Aaron Portsline. He's the beat writer for them I follow. And he's like, yeah, they're probably just going to look towards a trade for this guy. Sounds like he's a little big for his britches. But the Jackets are doing fine. They're actually better off than some expected of them in the season. But I look at Ohio State as one of the teams that I'm just like strictly just a fan of. And it's easy to be a fan of them. They win most Saturdays. I get upset when they lose, but you sit down for games knowing like, yeah, we should probably get this one, no matter who you play. Now, you come to Saturday and knowing that Michigan is down, it's hard because I am an Ohio State fan who hates Michigan, and I assume this is just going to be a butt whooping on Saturday, but they're going to be up for the game too, which I get. I expect it to be nice and easy. But I'll tell you, like any fan base, There's a small contingent that I just do not understand, okay? That's I'll trade a national championship to beat Michigan. And again, it was so easy back in the day when you had to have both. You couldn't win the national championship without beating Michigan. Now, we live in a world, like, let's just say that Michigan was coming into this game 10-1 as well. They would basically be punching imagine if they were in Indiana's spot, right? Imagine if they were Indiana, who's in right now and will probably make it, right?
Yes.
Saturday would just be nothing except the goal and the happiness of beating Michigan. And I do want to talk about what's better, going to the Big Ten championship game, getting the bye, or playing some crap team in the first round and you have to sit out next weekend. I understand all that. But imagine that game didn't matter so much for winning the national championship. That's the hard part of asking the question. It'll be our question this morning at Matt Fontana Show. What would you rather have, national championships or beating Michigan?
If this is even close.
I'm telling you, I don't think it will be, but I do want to get that vibe for Saturday. And it's hard because the cop-out answer is you can have both now. It's real, again, that back in the day you had the both. What I'm saying is it's taken a little off of it, has it not? Now, the biggest thing that takes it off of it is what? Michigan is ass. They're not good. And whether or not they'll be good with that quarterback they gave $13 million to or whatever, I have no idea. But I would like Michigan to be good, so when we beat them, it means that much more. But would you trade? I guess another way to ask the question is, how do you grade Ryan Day? So many people got on him, and we talked about the story yesterday. He said that one of the lowest points of his life, comparing it to when his father passed away, losing to Michigan, because that's how rabid it made that fan base. Now, I also would push back and say part of the reason people are on Ryan Day is because he has not won a national championship yet. He's had plenty of talent. Go look at the Ohio State players littered throughout the NFL that came through Ryan Day. There's no excuse. Ryan Day actually should have a national championship by now. He should. And maybe he gets it this year. So I think that is what has ramped up that Michigan conversation. But Ryan, you and I are of the same mindset in this. I do not for a second understand people that would say, I'd rather beat Michigan than win a ring.
Yeah.
That is the thing. When you go to Ohio Stadium and you see the dates, they don't have the dates up there for beating Michigan. They need a bigger stadium, to be honest with you. They got the national championships. They've got the Heisman Trophy winners. That is always going to be more important to me. Now, Saturday is something that it's nostalgic. It's the rivalry. It's what college football has built themselves on. All these big games. And I do think there's an element of the committee, the 12-team playoff, watering these down. Do these not feel different because you know almost everybody's making it? And that's where I think college football is going to have an identity crisis sooner rather than later. You know, they tell you the regular season matters. I get that. And they want to make everybody believe that they have a shot at it. And yeah, 12 teams and eventually it'll be 16. But you look at these types of games that you would circle, and I guess maybe some SEC games every weekend you circle and say like, yep, look where look where Alabama's sitting right now. Look where Tennessee's sitting right now. Every weekend really does matter. But these rivalry type games, it has lost a little bit. Would it not mean more? Is if let's say they were back to the 14 playoff, right? And Ohio State is in the driver's seat right now. But you lose Saturday, you're probably out. If you were to lose Saturday, you would not have a Big Ten championship game. If it was the old 4-team playoff format, you aren't making it. I miss that. Saturday is literally only about wiping the floor with Michigan, which I'm happy to do, but I like having the other stuff. I like having that pressure. And we'd start this show on Monday if we lost, And you'd be like, oh, you happy now? It's just the 4 teams? No, I'd be like, okay, well, we're going to make it either way. Like, that's where can Ryan Day really sell it to these guys, which is a massive part of their recruiting. We need to go out and beat Michigan, who is a lowly, bad football team, but we got to stay focused. And that's something to watch for Saturday. Don't be looking ahead to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. Don't be looking ahead about where you think your seeding is going to be. You have got to take care of business on Saturday. And that is a fear that I have.
There's no way.
I know.
There's no
I
way.
know. I hope so. I'd like to say I know, but I hope so.
But that's the problem with, and I was a proponent of expanding it to 12 teams, and that's partly because I'm not a fan of a team that I know is a perennial top 5 team in the country like Ohio State. But I like where they're going, and it's obviously there's flaws in the first time you're going to be doing it. Those mostly being, and we'll talk about this, but of course Boise State getting the bye because of the conference champions. But when you talk about what would you rather have, the conference champion and get the bye, or would you rather just play a lowly team in the first round? Well, the answer to me is 100%. I don't care about the bye. If I'm playing an Arizona State in the first round like the Buckeyes might, you're blowing them out by halftime. You're playing half a game, your starters are going to be rested, and you're not facing potential injuries.
Well, and a lot of coaches say they don't like the layoff.
But whatever.
They don't, I mean, it's the same thing. But you would be out of the championship game, the Big Ten championship game, so you're getting your week off there versus your week off in the first round.
But when you're bad, like that's different, right? Like, I don't know. To me, when you already played 12, 13 games in a season and you use it, look at it as a bye. Like, it is a bye, but look at it as like, nobody's a week off. They're not going to come out rusty. I mean,
no, I don't think so.
When they come like the championship, you would wait weeks. You would wait weeks,
months. It'd be a month. You'd be a month away from playing. Like when you were done with your playoff, your college. I'm sorry, when you were done with your Big Ten championship game, you would have 4 weeks, sometimes 5 weeks to get to New Year's Day to play your semifinal game. 100%. And more football is not necessarily a bad thing. And what the College Football Playoff Committee is hoping for this year is just one upset, because that's their payoff in this whole thing. In a situation where Boise State would have never gotten this look, where BYU, where Indiana would never get this look, if they somehow pulled that off, that's their payoff. Do they actually want them to win a national championship? Hell no. Absolutely not. You want your best teams there at the end. But did they just get that one in that opening round? That's the payoff for the College Football Playoff Committee.
And that's why I'll never, ever like NCAA football more than the NFL. I can't get behind it. I can't get behind it. I can't get behind listen, I understand the ratings and there's clear bias, and there's bias in the NFL too.
Getting close to mowing my lawn over there.
But it's so whatever. Yeah, fine, I'll take it. But it's so
Ryan's not getting off my lawn yet. He's just mined my lawn.
Like the worst NFL team compared to the best NFL team, whether you want to say it's this year, the Lions versus the Panthers, whatever. Like that talent disparity is great, but it's nowhere near the talent disparity in college football.
100%.
And I just, it's if I'm not a fan of an Alabama, an Ohio State, used to be Clemson, right? A Georgia, an Oregon now, it's not fun. Nobody has a shot.
No,
and we're sitting here talking about a team in Indiana, like Indiana, for instance, that was 10-0 at in this game,
right?
And now we're talking about they don't have a chance, a snowball's chance in hell of winning the national championship.
I know that. You know that. I believe that. But once they kick the football off,
how do you get behind that?
Because honestly, it's the American dream of hope. You, as a Hoosiers fan, you're just hoping somehow, some freaky way.
Right, and this is finally the first year that you actually give them a sliver of a chance to make it happen, because they wouldn't even have the opportunity.
They never even had the table. And I don't want any of this to happen, but let's just say, I didn't even look at the college football playoff rankings from last night. Do you have the bracket up?
Yeah, I can get it.
Pull it up real quick.
What do you want to know?
I got it. All right, I got it. Okay. Indiana's playing Penn, which, by the way, this setup is trash because you get Tennessee, Georgia, and Indiana, Penn State in the first round. Conference matchups again. Let's say you're Indiana.
Right.
And Penn State.
They can beat Penn State.
They could. They 100%. Penn State will be favored in that game.
Right.
I'm not even going to do this example with Ohio State because I ain't going to put that out there. So I'll do it for Penn State, Indiana. what if Drew Aller stubs his toe? What if he gets wrapped up on the second play of the game and tweaks his knee? Well, here we are. And again, it would not be the same if they just beat them outright and the drama. What the College Football Playoff Committee is doing is exactly this. They're opening it up and saying, play the games. Play it and see what happens. Yeah, most likely some of these could just be real butt whoopings, not good TV, because don't forget, they want good TV for this. But even the drama leading up, the Hoosiers fans that are going to travel to Penn State to go to that game, the home games for the opening round. I don't know how many Arizona State fans make the travel to Columbus. I don't know. But, that's an extra game for Ohio State fans. That's extra revenue. That's extra money. And, yeah, it would probably just be a wipe of a game, but that's where you're at. Then you get geared up. Ohio State, Boise State, right? That's neutral site. Okay, you think Ohio State's going to win. You assume all these things, but that's the drama in sports. It's the underdog. What's one of the greatest stories in sports? The underdog. And that's where we're at. And that's when you get back to Ohio State, Michigan, where Michigan, we just dominated them for so long. They were the underdog. Then they came back and we got our butt whooped for a little while. And now you're back to Ohio State feeling like we should wipe this on out. I actually don't like that. I don't like that. I would like Michigan to get good. There's your clip. I want Michigan to be good because I want that game to mean something, and I would love them to face each other in the semifinals or in the second round.
Do you think they regret putting as heavy of an emphasis on conference champions as they did? Because you could have your first four, your buys would be 3 Big Ten teams. Right. I understand that's probably a stretch, but Boise State having the bye.
Here's where I think they messed up.
I'm sitting here complaining, but I don't have a solution.
No, that's the problem. Like you said earlier, you're right. This is the first year they're going to make some changes. They like that.
How is this poll close, Matt?
I kind of thought it might be. Did I hit the retweet on that?
How is this poll close?
You guys
are nuts. You guys are nuts. You guys are freaks.
I will tell you as an Ohio State fan that I think that is loon. I think that is 100% loon, but there is a group of people out there.
Craziness.
There's a group of people out there that's how they feel, which I kind of understand, but I'm not on that side. I thought it'd be a runaway national championship. I tell you this, I thought it was going to be like 70-30.
Ohio State fans never cease to amaze me.
It's because we're bougie. I will admit that. Like, we're bougie, we're highfalutin.
Not sure why.
Society people. Skinner. We don't almost even know what to do with ourselves at times. And you gear yourself up where, each game in the regular season, where you're talking about the Penn State matchup. The thing is, just for this season, we all got up for Oregon because we knew that was going to be a big game. And then you talk yourself into Penn State, but you really knew you were going to beat them. And that was a close game. You talk yourself into Indiana, but you knew you were going to beat them. I have the same feeling for Michigan on Saturday. I talk myself into it because it's Michigan, Ohio State, but I know they're going to beat them. I just know that. And, my entertainment value for the season has been great because Ohio State keeps winning and they're here. But I'm telling you, that's why I hope they make the Big Ten championship game, because I need something to quench my thirst. I need something for that Saturday night when they're playing Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. I need that.
Until Travion Henderson gets hurt, God forbid. That's not worth it to me.
Well, that's so back to your point about the College Football Committee having to maybe make these changes. It's hard for them to just not accept the inequality. Call it for what it is.
No, yeah.
An ACC champion is not the same as a Big Ten or SEC champion. Certainly not the Big 12, certainly not the Mountain West, certainly not anybody else.
Yeah.
And I get now that you have all of this restructuring. That's where it's just really damned you up, is because you've had all this restructuring that has killed the Pac-12 and just ravaged all these other ones. If it was honestly, if you could just call it for what it is, you would just take Big Ten and SEC teams and you'd go play for a national championship.
Right.
But Miami wants their piece. And maybe Clemson. And that's why they want to play these games. You want to feel the inequality. You want to feel the equality of it. Just call it for what it is. It's not equal. That's life, man. These teams get to play by a different set of rules than poor Colorado. It's because they are where they're at. But the problem is, if you change all these rules, what happens when you get a team that out of nowhere is worthy of playing? And that's another reason why I think the future is not having conferences. Imagine they abolish all conferences, okay? And you go to these schools. I'll do you one better. What if the NCAA just makes the schedule? Now, you'd be saying there's inequality there because Ohio State would just be playing Oregon and Alabama and Tennessee and Georgia and Miami and Penn State, and they would just, there's no Rutgers in that schedule, right? But if you abolished all of the conferences and you say, we're going to try to get everybody to play everybody, then you play that out like the NFL regular season.
Right.
You play everybody, and your record will tell you where you sit out in the seeds. But again, the NFL is set up with what? Divisions and conferences. These teams make it, these teams don't. Even if you're 7 and, back in the day, and that 7-9 was Washington and below 500 record, and they make the playoffs because they won their division.
Yeah, it would be nice if there was a way, like you talk about, you have your FBS teams, or even like you talk about, you have your top 64 teams that are vying for a national championship. Then you have another group that is vying for, not a national championship, but
it's that Chip Kelly model. He said,
right.
You put the top 50
the problem
here,
with
the top 50 down there, or the bottom 50 there, and they play for 2 separate championships.
And that's nice. And I wish there was a way to do that and maybe even make it smaller. Like, so you could get every week would be a Bama versus an Ohio State, a Georgia versus an Oregon. But the problem with that is when you're doing that and you're setting these teams into the preseason, is you're going to have teams like Florida State who are ranked in the top 25 who are just garbage.
Well, I think there's something that, when you were talking about that, kind of lightning in my head, man. What's the one thing college football has had forever that is their thing? Rankings. Mm-hmm. They used to just hand out national championships based off of rankings. Back in the day, they would say, you are the AP national champion. It's funny. I want to say, I think it's Nebraska or Oklahoma, I can't remember. There are schools that recognize a national championship that nobody else does because it was a voted poll.
UCF.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. They view themselves in that even though they didn't really win it. But that's the college football can't get away from rankings. And really, when you think about it, I know that there's an AP ranking for college basketball, but that doesn't matter because you take 100 and whatever teams to go to 64 plus the play and all that.
And that's real quick. That's why college basketball works, is because it's along the similar lines with rankings as college football is, but the inequality and disparity is so less than in football, right? Like, I understand you still have your legacy programs that the 5 stars obviously tend to sign with, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the Gonzagas, but even then it's so much less. Like, I'm trying to think of a team that always contends, like a Xavier or even a Cincinnati now.
Right, Gonzaga. What is Gonzaga? Nothing, but they built themselves into a basketball powerhouse.
It's so just.
But that's what college basketball has built themselves on with March Madness. They want that, and there's a better chance of upsets in college basketball than there are college football. Up to 16-1, like all that kind of stuff. That is what college basketball has built themselves on. That's the flip. College football builds themselves on powerhouses. They want Alabama there every year. They want Ohio State there every year. And it can get boring. And it can. And even the times that TCU comes out of nowhere, Cincinnati comes out of nowhere, you're happy. You want to see them there, but they don't actually want them to win national championships. They want them there because they want them to feel good, but it doesn't actually matter unless they somehow pull the upset off. And college basketball is so different because you're afforded that.
God, I love
you pull an upset off in college football, you're in the national championship. How many teams pull off an upset and lose 2 rounds later? That's why, again, I hate college basketball. That's why March Madness is so perfect.
I don't know how you could hate college basketball.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
How could you hate college basketball but then love college football?
Well, I will start with basketball is not my favorite sport. I like the NBA, but that's the top level. You want to know my God honest reason? I see some just horrid trash basketball. Even on the Division I level, it's just trash. And I always go back and forth. Do you like the upsets or not? Do you like when 16 goes out? But it's like even a legacy team like Kent State, when they went on that Elite Eight run, they still didn't win the national championship, but you feel good about it. College football is different. You pull off an upset, you're almost out to a national championship. It's because they can't play as many games. Yeah. It's because they don't have the tournament like that. And football is going to have to figure it out after this year. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So what college football's got to ask themselves, do you want your powerhouses or do you want your upsets and everybody feeling like they got a shot? Can't have both.
They just want whichever one's more money.
They can't. What's more money?
The powerhouses.
Is the powerhouses.
I understand that.
That's why
it'll never
12 is stupid.
Like in a perfect world, and this will never happen. But the only way to curb that and have both, like you're talking about, is there'd have to be some way where you would limit like the amount of 5 stars you could have in a program.
That'd be interesting. That's a spicy take.
Well, I'm saying it's not possible, but that's the only way that you would curb that.
I got it. No, I have a solution. You only play a 6-game regular season and you start the playoffs in late October.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like that, there's your way. You play a 6-game regular season, but that's cutting out Akron, who needs that money for their program, which I get. You play a 6-game conference regular season, and you just start the playoffs on Halloween.
But here's what you'd have to do if that was going to happen. You'd have to have consolation tournaments or brackets because
a team could be out. That's a great point.
No team's going to do that. No NFL prospect's going to not play X amount of games to get their name out.
No, it's not a good idea. But like that's your idea of the continued expansion. The 12 doesn't do it for me. And it's that me saying as an Ohio State fan, that's why it doesn't do it for me, because you assume you're just going to make it every year. And yeah, it does come back to a little part of me that is upset that this game doesn't have the same glow to me. It doesn't have the same glow. In part, that is actually to blame for Michigan. That is a lot to blame for Michigan. Because if they were good, then this game would have a lot more meaning on potential seeding, on potential... here's the problem. What if this game meant that the winner of this goes to play Oregon in the Big Ten championship game? But then where's your twist you talk about? Well, sometimes it's not a bad thing if we didn't go to that.
Right.
Right now, you want to go.
The way it's laid out, if you're playing ASUs, if you're playing SMUs in a first round of college football playoff, you're taking that, blowing them out by halftime, resting your starters.
Yeah.
And you're not risking injury. To me, that's not even a question.
No, sure. And that's a debate. I know there was one of the SEC coaches
that's why
talking about that.
And that's why what they're doing now doesn't work.
I don't think it does. And they're going to have to make all these changes, not quickly. I think it's going to be time over time. The other problem in all of that, they're continuing to make a lot of money. Like, there's no reason that all these extra games, it could be a blowout bad game, they're still cashing checks. Yeah. They're still making a lot of money because you, me, and everybody are going to sit down to watch every single playoff game. Think about that. They went from when they had 3 games to now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I could have done that math a lot faster. You have basically almost quadrupled your revenue. Now, again, is Tostitos gonna pay the same money for a semifinal game as they would a first round? No, but they're gonna have more opportunity to make it. Ticket sales, all that. I get why they did it.
Is there? I believe the answer to this question is no. Is there an NIL cap? Almost like
no.
Right?
Not that I know.
So then, do you believe NIL makes this even worse because you're having these big programs, Ohio States, who have these billionaire donors?
Will Howard,
Caleb
Downs,
compared to like Boise State, who might have one mega millionaire, billionaire funder who went alumni that can't afford these players.
Can I give you a take off of that? The NIL money is a part of it, but let's just take Will Howard. Okay, was Kansas State ever going to be in this opportunity? Probably not. you could just sell him on, dude, come here and go to the college football playoff.
Well, that's not enough anymore, especially if you're a kid like Will Howard, who's probably going to be drafted in the fourth, fifth round.
And trust me,
that's not enough anymore.
There will be some guys that only are going to go for the money, but I would have to think that still carries weight. And we see guys, even pre-NIL, that would transfer. And they were what? A 4-year starter at a MAC school. They have 1 year left eligibility, and they go, I just want to go play in the Big Ten. Yeah, but sometimes it is a means to an end of I want to improve my draft stock or I want to get better tape out there, sure. But I don't think that's all that different. And I'll do it the other way, go down the slide the other way. How many guys went to Ohio State were 4-year backups and they just go, all right, I'm going to go to a MAC school and start for a year and get my school paid for? There's plenty of examples of that too.
Yeah.
It's just a sliding scale of guys, and I get, women too on their sports, they're just moving back and forth where they go, I just want to step up in competition for one reason or another, or step down in competition. The NIL floods that. The NIL does water that down a lot because Will Howard, but again here, how many teams are clamoring for Will Howard's services? He wasn't needed at Oregon. They didn't need him at Alabama. Do they need him at Clemson? Is he better than Cade Klubnik? I don't know. They didn't need him at Georgia. He only had a couple of spots to go. Now, when they sit down and slide a contract over and say, here's millions of dollars, yeah, that helps too. But it's like the inevitability that guy's going to – same thing we were talking about Cincinnati, right? The inevitability that these mid-teams are just ever going to be a stepping stone for coaches. Now they're just stepping stones for players.
Right.
Now they're just stepping stones for players. There are guys that go to school knowing in the back of their head, I'm transferring my ass out of here in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get the offers that I needed to coming out of high school.
It's broken.
It is. And the problem is you have too many broken things to fix it all once. You might as well just let it keep going.
And the problem isn't if you fix one thing, it just either opens up another hole or right. So I don't know the solution. Clearly, they don't, and I don't see it getting fixed anytime soon.
It still works. I'm not saying it's not broken. It could be better, but it still kind of works.
Yeah, it works in terms of everybody's watching these games, and you're getting a buttload of money.
But I think it even works for the players.
I guess.
I think it even works for the players because you know how I feel
for the upper echelon.
Well, no. Here's what I'm saying. I
mean, rightfully so, but
you know how I feel about these guys in 7 years of eligibility, right? I hate that. I hate it to my core. But it does weed it out. And I say this as somebody that played 2 years of Division III football. I wasn't going anywhere, man. I was not going anywhere. And I knew that. And there are guys that just sometimes need to have that cold slap to the face. It's not in the cards. I'm sorry. So the transfer portal, in a way, helps that. To understand, yeah, you can leave and go to some other school and you can move on and do whatever, but at the end of the day, the cream is still going to rise to the top. Yeah. Randy Savage. You ever see that clip? Cream will rise to the top. It's still going to be that way forever. And the top schools are going to keep getting the top recruits. Ryan's so different than them recruiting a 5-star guy out of high school. They're just doing it in the NIL portal. That's it. And do I think the portal is broken? Yes. Do I think they need to change some eligibility things? Absolutely. Is NIL need to be capped? 100%. But the problem is you'll never get unanimous on that because it works for the big teams. Right. And those, again, going back to what do you want? The equality, everybody's got a chance, or we're just going to keep feeding the big guys. We're going to keep feeding the big guys. So there's no reason for them to change anything. Not at all. All right, we got plenty to get to. Cavs, I got a little Guardians sprinkling, and we'll make our picks coming up in hour 2. We'll hold off on that to get our picks coming up. But I was talking about the big guys. You know who one of the biggest ones is? Fairway Ford, baby. They are the largest Ford truck dealership in Ohio. Let me say that again. Fairway Ford is the largest Ford truck dealership in Ohio. They have the largest selection of F-150s and Super Duties. And frankly, they're just not going to be beat on price. They're not going to be beat on a deal when you go to Fairway Ford. See it up there. $12,000 off potentially. Rates as low as below 2% for you. That is what Fairway Ford has built their model on. Over 20 years, family owned and operated. When you go in to see them, they treat you like family. What does family do? They help you out. They look out for you.
Not if you're Baker.
Not if you're Baker. But Baker Mayfield can go to Fairway Ford and get himself a nice little truck there if he needs so. Might need to get that money back from his dad first, but he'll get on out there. And you don't need to be a millionaire to go to Fairway Ford. They got pre-owned. They've got everything that you're looking for. But they're willing to make deals like they would to a family member because they frankly have so much inventory. You know, I'm trying to think of an example. You're cleaning out your closet, right?
Good song.
Yeah, great song. and you're cleaning your stuff out.
I'm sorry, Mom.
And you're thinking about, I have this pen. And I really don't need it because I have 1,000 pens. And Ryan comes
Sell me this pen.
Just sell me this pen, Ryan. And I think, this pen's really worth $1. But you know what? I'll take your 75 cents on it because I got so many other ones in the wings waiting to make a deal. Same thing at Fairway Ford. They have so many trucks and so many vehicles. They're willing to make moves to keep the product moving, to keep the deals going. That benefits you. That does. What do you need? Safe vehicle, a good interest rate, pricing, and customer service. Why go anywhere else? Why go anywhere else? You want to pay the least amount of money with the best interest rate, get great customer service, and a good vehicle. There's no other place to go than Fairway Ford. It's that simple. They are going to make deals that sometimes really hurt them. They will do that. I can't guarantee it, but I just know that they're willing to do it. I always laugh when you go into settings like that, you're the one pulling teeth. Like, I'm trying to give you money to buy something from you. Why are you haggling with me? What's going on? They don't do that at Fairway Ford. You should be in and out of the dealership, a veteran sales staff there. They're the best. They're such a breeze to work with. Start online, fairwayfordohio.com. Fairwayfordohio.com. You're starting to search for that vehicle, maybe for next year. Add it to the list. Go through their inventory. They have a chat feature. You can actually do some things online, fill out some paperwork, get the financing done. You can get in and out. They had a family drive in from Wisconsin to pick up a truck. They were there for less than 45 minutes. They were there for less than 45 minutes. Drive in, fill out a couple things you got to in person. Here's the keys. We appreciate your business. It's that easy. Fairwayfordohio.com. Cavs taking on those Hawks tonight. I had this question asked to me. You might yell at me, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Oh, God.
Are you bored with the Cavs? Are they so good that you are now bored with the Cleveland Cavaliers? And when this, I thought that question, and then I screamed to myself, what? And
I understand it.
But it's like, they are so good. And you face a Hawks team tonight that is below 500. They've shown up for some games. They're battling injuries left and right. And I just sit there and I'm like, am I?
That's what the NBA Cup is for.
Well, that's Friday. That's Friday's game. But like, I was such an intriguing question to me. And I really try to answer it in this way. No, because there's different ways they're winning. And now there's new characters. It's like watching your favorite TV show.
It doesn't help that the East is garbage.
So I wanted to do this morning. Now's as good as time as any. The 10 NBA trends at the quarter mark of the season. We're going to run through that in a second. This is from Liam McCone on SI. We'll get to the Cavs one, but I thought it was just really interesting. The 10 trends in basketball. Hold on to that. But the thing is, it's like a TV show. Started out, banger. And you're like, what's happening next? What's going on? I'm on a cliffhanger on the Penguin, by the way.
I still haven't started.
Oh, dude, I got an episode in last night. Cliffhanger. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. Anyway. It was a banger to start for the Cavs. And it's easy to try to maybe sit there and say, now that the streak is over, what's your interest? And I think Ty Jerome and Craig Porter and Sam Merrill can only do so much for you. But it's like, are we almost back to the LeBron era where there's only big games that matter? Like, do you care tonight about the Hawks? Or are you starting to think about Tuesday when we get to crack at the Celtics again with Porzingis and crew back? Like, where are you at?
I think it's a very fun race to the 1 seed with the Celtics.
Yeah.
And now that it's very close, and especially you have a game coming up Sunday against them, that's the exciting part.
Sunday? Sunday, sorry. I don't want to say Tuesday.
Dude, that's funny you say that because I just looked, and I thought it was Tuesday as well and was confused that it was Sunday. That's
weird.
We
play on Tuesday?
Yes, we play the Wizards, and that's an NBA Cup game as well.
Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe I got confused with the NBA Cup games. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, so Sunday against the Celtics. Like, it's a good problem to have where you're like, you expect them to smoke the teams that they play. Tonight, do you know what the line is, Ryan? Do you want to guess?
Hawks, is this home or away?
We are home tonight. Undefeated at home.
Oh, gosh. Is Trae Young playing?
He is a game time decision.
Okay.
They got DeJounte Murray back.
I'm going to assume he's playing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cavs -7.5.
Cavs are 10.
10.
I don't know why I said DeJounte, not DeJounte Murray. Who's the other guy? Zeller's out for them.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray's on the. Where did he get traded?
He's on the Pelicans.
Was he?
Yeah. He just came back off an injury. But wasn't there somebody else from the Hawks that was injured? Anyway,
No
I guess maybe it was just Trae Young. He's a game time decision.
10.5. Wow.
See, here's the thing.
That makes sense.
Do they think about Trae Young maybe saving him for Friday in the NBA Cup game? That might mean a little bit more. I don't know. The thing is, the Hawks have lost 3 straight now, too.
Yeah.
They're 3-6 on the road. They lost to the Mavericks, the Bulls, and the Warriors. Dude, they got beat by the Warriors 120-97 a couple of days ago. But it's hard because you're a 10-point favorite. You should have no problem with them at home tonight. Are you still excited to sit down and watch the game? Are you bored with the Cavs?
No.
I don't think so either. That was an interesting question, a provocative one, if you will. But there's enough parity, because that's the other problem. You're right. It's just you and the Celtics right now. That's it. There's not every single night that you can get going with it. NBA Insider's ESPN Power Rankings. Number 1?
It should be the Cavs.
It is the Cavs.
Good.
They stay at 1.
Even though Boston beat them.
Number 2?
So this will be interesting. I'm going to assume they still put Boston at
They
2.
did.
Okay.
Number 3?
I know Chet's hurt, but is it still OKC?
It is still the Thunder. Number 4?
So it's certainly not an Eastern Conference team.
Nope.
That would be the Warriors.
Correct. Oh, here we get spicy. Number 5.
Number 5. Western again, I assume.
Yes. You want to know something crazy? Of the top 8, there's only 2 Eastern Conference teams.
That doesn't surprise me.
The Magic are 9. The Knicks are 10. Everybody else is Eastern.
Okay.
So at number 5.
Number 5, I will say, man, it would have been the Suns if they didn't get hurt.
They're getting healthy, though.
Yeah. I really want to get this right.
I know. That's why I want to go top 5, see if you get it.
Can I guess what number 5 is?
Yeah.
Lakers.
No.
Oh,
you're
shoot.
close.
Are they 6?
No.
7?
They're 7.
Okay.
Number 6 and number 5. I would not have gotten 5, I don't think.
You don't think?
I would have put them down a little further. 6 is a team you should get.
6 is a team I should get.
Yeah.
Nuggets are struggling.
Correct. Nuggets
but
are
they're
still
struggling.
6, though. They stay at 6 from a week ago. So now just number 5. By the way, this is the same. So they do this every week. This team at 5 was also 5 last week.
Okay. The Mavericks.
No.
They're struggling.
They're in trouble.
Yeah,
No, they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble.
Luke is out.
Yeah, I think they're in trouble.
Oh, man. Who am I missing?
This is the number 2 defensive efficiency team in the NBA, only behind the Thunder.
Oh, wow. Not the Timberwolves.
Mm-mm.
There's just got to be
Here's the
team
write-up.
I'm blatantly just blanking on.
It was only a matter of time until this team started to exhibit the grit and toughness as defined by their head coach.
Defined by their head coach.
He's not just hired, but he's only in his, I believe, 2nd year there.
Who am I missing?
So said I wouldn't have gotten him either.
Oh. No. The Rockets?
The Rockets.
Wow.
Ime Udoka. Number 5, Houston Rockets.
Wow.
There you go. Number
Good for
5.
them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
What a quick turnaround for them.
Yeah, Sengun's nice.
Yeah, they got all those picks, man. They got some players over there. All right, I want to run through this quick as well. The 10 trends at the quarter mark of the season from SI. Let's see if we agree. Number 1, Celtics are running smoothly, but still have another level to hit. I'm just going to say on that statement, do you think the Celtics have that other level? Now, Porzingis would easily be the level that you think.
Right.
And I just go back to that Cavs game where they were literally firing on all cylinders. Jason Tatum was insane. I only push back on that other level to hit to say, I think they're just really damn good. I don't know if there is something else. And again, the easy answer is getting Porzingis back. Maybe I'm one that's devaluing him a little bit. I don't know. But do you think that they actually have another step that they could take here?
Well, what's interesting about the Cavs and Celtics is when you look at the Celtics, right? Obviously, getting Porzingis back is massive. Al Horford somehow still isn't falling off a cliff. How old is he now? 35, 36?
Watch your mouth.
But what's interesting is
Who's older, me or Al Horford?
I was like, what? I forgot.
Who's older,
You're
me or
35.
Al Horford?
I would say Al Horford.
He's 38.
30. He's
38.
older. But when you look at,
We both share June birthdays, though.
I mean, it's no surprise what's separating the Celtics and Cavs from the other Eastern Conference's teams, besides obviously your superstars like Tatum Mitchell, is the bench, right? Like you have Ty Jerome probably leading the sixth man of the year, but then for the Celtics you have Peyton Pritchard.
He is literally the leader for sixth man of the year.
Who is just playing at a great level. And then, I mean, Derek White, Drew Holiday, that's probably the best defensive backcourt in the NBA, would you say? That's
when they talk about, in this article, about the level the Celtics can go to. They were 26 in paint points before Porzingis came back. They blocked 11 shots in that Clippers game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Porzingis,
here he comes.
Porzingis is just perfect.
I do think about too much on the offense with him and forget how good he can be defensively. All right, trend number 2. The 76ers are veering towards disaster.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Dude,
because they ain't veering towards it. They have slammed into the wall of disaster at this point.
Dude, I mean, as good as Joel Embiid is,
he can't stay healthy. He can't play. Bring in another injured guy to help him, and now even Maxey is out.
I was going to say, Maxey's got a bright future. You try to go all in with Paul George. He's injured again. Jared McCain looks great. I mean, they're staring at this long process. Trust the process. I mean, you're going to have to redo it again.
Yeah. No,
they've reaped no benefits.
That's it. They are screwed. And even just at this point of the season at 3-13, think about that for a second, okay? For them to even fight to get a play-in tournament bid, would you not say that you need less than 40 wins or 40 losses? I'd say less than that. You need low 40s.
Right.
They got to make up 10 games. 10 games over that stretch to not meet that mark. Ryan, they are a quarter of the way of being out of the playoffs altogether. Here I am talking about the Cavs being over a quarter of a way of locking a top 2 seed, maybe even the number 1 seed. The 76ers are a quarter of the way of just straight up missing the playoffs.
Well, listen, that's what you get if you don't have a super deep team and you're sitting here with your superstar saying, I refuse to play back-to-back games. You deserve to miss the playoffs.
Absolutely. 100%. Next up, trends in the NBA. The West is as tough as ever. The East, not so much.
Valid.
Even the most pessimistic projections couldn't have anticipated that only 4 teams entering Thanksgiving weekend have a record comfortably above 500 in the East. The bottom of the conference is especially brutal, with 3 teams below a 30% winning percentage. Meanwhile, the West is maintaining its reputation as a tougher conference. There's only a few games that separate first from 6 and 7 from 13 in a jumble of squads out West. No shock there. Trend number 4, stars battling injuries. Obviously, we know, here's the stat. 16 players who were all-stars a year ago have missed some sort of time due to injury this year. 16!
Yeah.
Then, currently sidelined, Aaron Gordon, Chet Holmgren, DeJounte Murray, Bradley Beal, and Victor Wembanyama have either been or currently injured.
Kevin Durant.
Well, that's your all-star. He's one of the 16 all-stars that missed time now. Just add that all in.
You were naming non-all-stars.
I'm sorry. Yeah. They said 16 players that were an all-star a year ago have missed time, and then guys who were not all-stars but are still pretty good players also out.
Okay.
How did Webby not make the all-star game last year? Who knows? But anyway. The rash of early season injuries come to some really fun players and has watered down some high-quality basketball. I agree. Trend number 5, Jokic already on the other MVP campaign. Do you go against him right now? Now, the thing is, Denver's got to pick up their pace a little bit as a team, and I do think the Aaron Gordon injury helps them or hurts them, but that also means what? More touches for Jokic. And if they are a 4 seed and he's doing what Nikola Jokic does, he's going to walk to that MVP. Because the other problem, none of these other guys are going to qualify.
4 MVPs in what, 6 years?
And it should have been 5. And it really should have been 5.
So where does that put him amongst the greats?
They already had that stat up on...
what NBA players have won 4 MVPs?
LeBron.
Yes.
Wilt.
Yeah.
Kareem.
Did he?
What's the list? Hang on. So the things that they brought up.
Did Bird get 4? He had to have. I know he got 3 straight.
they brought this up talking about finals MVPs with then MVPs. So here's your 6. Or I'll just go down in order. Kareem had 6. Jordan and Bill Russell had 5. Wilt and LeBron have 4. That's it. So Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Nikola Jokic, you know what I'm talking about, has 3 with Moses Malone. Who else did I say?
Kareem?
I said Kareem and Wilt. LeBron, Jordan, and Russell.
Yeah, 4 MVPs.
4.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, he's on his way to winning his 4th at age 30.
Right.
30.
Right.
Is it in part, though, because there is nobody else?
Well, yeah, but
Number one, the game requirement thing doesn't bother me. You shouldn't win the MVP if you don't play in 60 games anyway. But now this load management, this player participation, didn't the Hawks just get fined for that because they sat Trae Young in that game?
$100,000.
$100,000. I mean, it's today's NBA, but like, yeah, who are your star bona fide players that are, I get Shy, you know, I would say should be Anthony Edwards, not quite, but it's like.
I need Shy for my bet.
Yeah, for what?
My future
bet. Oh,
bet.
that's right. You had that parlay going. But yeah, it's Jokic right now. It's early. So again, trends in the NBA, number 6. Here we go. Everything is clicking for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's the write-up. Cavs had high expectations entering the season. The current team locked up their core and got Kenny Atkinson here. The pressure was on to prove that this collection of talent, headlined by Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, was a legit contender. It's safe to say the Cavs have easily blown out those expectations. Everything is going right. 15-game win streak. Mobley looks ready to break out offensively. The bench, led by Ty Jerome, has been electric, and they found significant success even with some injury problems on the wing. They're rocking offensively, leading the NBA in points per game and field goals made per game. Cavs already have 10 wins by double digits.
Yeah.
The hot shooting will eventually cool off, but the Cavs have chemistry and a good mix of talent, which is a fun team to watch when locked in. That's number 6. Cavs are locked in. I mean, yeah, and that's, you know, the write-up. The shooting will go away, but it's also, I have every faith that it'll come back. You know, these guys, that's what they're doing. They're healthy. They're not fighting major injuries right now, and they play a brand of basketball that fits them and works with them. With what Kenny Atkinson wants to do, with what this team is doing, Cavs are clicking 100%. All right, rounding up the rest of the trends. The race for Cooper Flag will be tight. Wizards, Raptors, Jazz appear to be the teams ready to tank. Wizards are 2-14, Raptors are 4-14, Jazz are 4-13. Ugh. Could you imagine Cooper Flag having to go to Washington and waste away his career?
Ew.
They say the Bulls might move off Zach LaVine at the trade deadline. Tank. Hornets, maybe. I'd rather see him go to the Hornets. I don't know why. I think that would work. But there's just a pretty loaded draft even beyond Cooper Flag. So it's a tight race to the bottom. Trend number 8. LeBron James defying father time yet again. I'm not saying that these are ordered in a particular way, but that is something when you sit back at the 3 straight triple-doubles, the fact that even the Lakers are in the top 6 of power rankings for most people is pretty crazy. Is it this last gasp for him in L.A.? I know you'd like to think that. If he has a stellar season, which he's on his way to doing, does that make him more apt to say, I can go get one more run somewhere else, or him more apt to say, maybe it can work here? I think that all comes back to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis right now is top 3 in the MVP as far as the odds go. If he can stay healthy, I think that's going to draw LeBron back to the Lakers. Dalton Connect's playing well. His kid's there. They can just get one more. Seriously, I really feel like the Lakers are just like one piece away.
Yeah, but we've been saying that for years.
It's true, and they haven't been able to get that one piece there. But LeBron defying father time is absolutely crazy. Trend number 9, there's more 3-point shots than ever. Yeah. The league average right now is not this crazy. 37 3-point attempts per game.
I believe I heard this morning that LaMelo Ball is averaging 13 threes a game.
That's nuts. You sometimes ask guys to go 2 out of 6.
Yeah.
That is over 2.5 shots year over year. It is the largest 1-year jump from last year to this year in NBA history.
Yeah.
At this point, and you don't see any reason slowing down, do you? No. Everybody's going to shoot threes. Final thing, the trends for the NBA. Knicks and Timberwolves still have identity crises, and they're trying to figure out what it is. And again, Karl Anthony Towns, obviously the picture of both of that. I expect the Timberwolves to step it up, and I do think the Knicks will be there when all said and done. All right, let's catch our break. When we come back, I've got a signing for the Guardians from David Schoenfield.
Is it Juan Soto?
It is not Juan Soto. Apparently, Boston's going all in for him. But it's a name you very much know. I'll see if Ryan can guess. So we'll do that in the morning update. Then we got to get to the grid. We got time.
Would it be a reunion?
No.
Okay.
No. But you know how I have that sixth sense?
Of if a player's going to play for
a player's just eventually going to find their way to your team.
You felt this?
I think I'm applying it. It doesn't actually exist, but it totally kind of makes sense that this guy somehow, some way finds his way to his team.
I'm excited.
So I'll tell you who that is. We got a lot. We got Noah at 10:30. We got we got to fly. We got the grid. We got to do our picks. We got Noah, bracket, giveaway, all of it right here on Big Play. Wednesday, Drennan tonight, so make sure you check him out. Big Play app, download that, free for iOS, free for Apple. Get it for your Roku TV as well.
Also, Full Court Cleveland, because we're not recording tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Full Court Cleveland. That's right, because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So they have Full Court Cleveland tonight, which is perfect with Boopy Rafa and Sam Amico. So check that out with Drennan tonight. Just go follow Big Play on Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube page. It's all there, and download the brand new Big Play app. It's got all the content that you need. And another reminder, we have our giveaway. You want to win a Donovan Mitchell Cavs jersey.
Am I eligible to win?
Sure, why not? I don't care. Now, the problem is you don't follow yourself.
Oh, true. I guess I'm ineligible. I'm ineligible.
You have to follow me and Ryan on Twitter. At Matt Fontana 83, at Ryan Tyler 33. All you got to do is retweet that, and that's it. We have 33 retweets. And you got to think, one of those is Ryan, one of those is Big Play, and one of those is Count. At this moment, you have a 1 in 30 shot of winning that Donovan Mitchell jersey. It's pretty simple. It's the jersey that you see there. You tell me your address and your size, put it in the mail for you. It's that simple. It's that easy. So go follow at Matt Fontana 83, at Ryan Tyler 33. Hit that retweet for your shot to win. Miles Harden designated return from practice. That'll really turn things around for the Browns. Did we just do an hour without talking about the Browns? Wasn't that kind of nice?
It was kind of nice.
It's kind of nice.
Well, that's what happens when you play on Thursday.
Yeah. Well, they play on Monday.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
last Thursday, we play on Monday this week and all that kind of stuff. Yes. But a lot of Cavs, a lot of Ohio State. We got plenty more to come, including our picks. Stay with us. That's my bad. I sprung that on Ryan. He's like, around the league. Thought we were doing morning update. Before we do anything, do you just want that Guardians pick?
I kind of wanted to guess, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I want you to guess.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that before around the league. All right, so we'll go around the league. We'll make our picks, all that kind of stuff. But I flip over to David Schoenfield this morning from ESPN.
Okay.
And he did one free agent, big move, signing, trade, whatever, for every single team. So he's got big ones. He's got a Garrett Crochet trade. He's got certainly Juan Soto. He's got all that. He has one for the Guardians. I will give you a hint by saying we fall under the category. Let's sign some veterans. Okay? This is a pitcher on a 1-year, $13.5 million deal. I want it to be Shane Bieber. It's not. It's not. Okay? It's not Matthew Boyd. It's not Alex Cobb. Okay. Do you want me to do the write-up here?
Yeah.
The Guardians need rotation depth, but are they willing to spend on a starter? Maybe you reunite Boyd, Cobb, or even Bieber. And this guy is a risk coming off a season of just 9 starts. I would give you his age, but I think that would give it away.
His age would give it away?
Yeah.
So he's got to be old, then.
So then he's old. This guy did show enough when he pitched, though, and should be signable on a 1-year deal, which makes him attractive for a club like Cleveland. The player, in turn, would love to play for a team that has a chance to win and a potentially great fit to a run to another ALCS.
So he's in the American League. Or, like last year, was in the American League.
Was, yes. This guy is well-traveled. If he came to the Guardians, that would be his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th team that he would have pitched for.
Not Scherzer.
It is Max
Is
Scherzer!
it?
Nice!
Is it? Wow.
Yeah!
Okay.
Nice! Wouldn't that just be something with all his time with Detroit? Like, did you not just feel like he would come here? I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I'd take him.
I don't have Bieber, obviously, but
could you imagine? Yeah, right. I would take Bieber, too. Max Scherzer will be 41 in the middle of next season, coming off just 9 starts last year for the Rangers. Wouldn't that be something, though?
Hey, man, that'd be pretty cool.
Something? I'd still take Bieber. I'm with you 100%. And I did want to look to see if they had Bieber in here somewhere. They don't. They don't have him signing like anywhere else, you know? But yeah, they bring up Max Scherzer as a potential, which I thought was interesting.
I'd welcome it.
Yep. All right, bold move. Teams chasing Soto. Mets sign him 13 years, $611 million. Yankees get Willy Adames. Blue Jays sign Corbin Burns. Detroit signs Alex Bregman, 6 years, $187.
Be fun to see him a lot during the year.
Oh, no, I'd hate that. I don't want to see him. I don't even want to see him play. Santander goes to the Astros. Alonso go to the Nationals. Jack Flaherty goes to the Giants. Sean Manaea goes to the Rangers. Here's a trade. White Sox send Garrett Crochet to the Orioles for Kobe Mayo. Phillies trade Alec Boehm to the Mariners. Mariners send Luis Castillo and some other guy to the Cubs. Cubs send Bellinger to the Phillies. That's pretty much it.
I thought the player was going to be Bellinger.
No, I mean, that when we traded the Cubs, now Bellinger reportedly wants out of there. What's his contract, though?
I don't know.
He's paid. Is he not? I guess not. He's on a 3-year, $80 million deal. But he's got an opt-out.
He used to be the Cats' rear end.
Did he opt out or not? No. Okay. He declined his opt-out. So he's on the hook for $27.5 million for this season, and he opted in, but then he's got a player option for 2026 at $25 million. So in essence, you get him for 1 year, 27, and then if he opts out, he opts out. But I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that could be done there. But yeah, they had Max Scherzer as the potential there for the Guardians. I don't know if I'd take it. We'll see how it goes, but who knows. All right, let's get to it. NFL picks, a busy weekend. Kick it off tomorrow with Thanksgiving. We go back a week ago, Ryan. We must learn from our mistakes here. I went a putrid 4-9. Ryan a little bit better at 6-7 a week ago. I come in 96-78 and 5. Ryan is 83-91-5.
Making up a little ground.
Is that?
Still got a long ways to go, though.
That adds up. We got a long way to go, and our journey starts tomorrow.
Could I possibly overtake you by the end of the year? I mean, obviously.
Mathematically, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
I almost said we have the playoffs, but clock is ticking out here, buddy. It is. We can still do it for fun, though. Still do it for fun. Do it off on the side. Here we go. Kicking off your Thanksgiving, it is the Chicago Bears. What are they? And they travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. This is a big 10-point spread. 93% of public money is on the side of the Detroit Lions. Now, my biggest thing for the Lions for this game, even when they have big spreads, they smoke fools. But the thing is, in their last 3 wins, a close one over Houston, they beat up on Indy and Jacksonville, right? Beat Green Bay by 10, beat up on Tennessee, beat Minnesota. I am never going to sit here and try to downplay what the Lions have done. They are the best team in football, in my opinion. Yeah, you flip over for Chicago. They're on this 5-game losing streak, but they've been close each of the last 2 weeks against Green Bay and Minnesota, and potentially should have won either one of those games. Now, again, maybe not Minnesota. They need the fluky, freaky things to happen, but so be it. Here it is. Now, the fact that this is Thursday, it is Thanksgiving. You know my rule. I usually like the dog and the under on any Thursday game. Thanksgiving's a little bit different, though, because they're in Detroit. You know that the Lions want to show up big for this game. Chicago is 8-4 straight up in their last 12 games against Detroit, and they are 4-2 straight up in their last 6 games at Ford Field. You flip it over for Detroit, 8-1 against the spread their last 9 games, 8-1 straight up in their last 9 games at home. Does Caleb Williams got this in him? Amon-Ra Brown's dealing with a knee injury, and Khalif Raymond got hurt their last game. The write-up from Tony Farmer. Bears have lost both their games since Thomas Brown took over as the offense coordinator, but Caleb Williams has turned a corner, and the Bears are much better than their record indicates. I'm going to take... I'm taking Chicago. Plus the 10.
Yeah, I will not be joining you on that. Until the Lions prove that they're not just going to go ahead and blow everybody out, I refuse to not take them.
All right. That is Detroit there for Ryan. Next up, the afternoon nap game. It'll be the Giants taking on the Cowboys. The Cowboys come into this one 3.5-point home favorites. Now, the question on this one, what's up with Cooper Rush? He's battling an injury. Sounds like he's going to be able to go, but they wonder if he's going to be 100%. Now, you flip over the Giants, and Tommy DeVito is now hurt for the New York Crew and not. I'm going to take Dallas here. They're at home. I don't have a lot of faith in them of covering against a lot of teams, but I really think the Giants are absolutely garbage.
So Drew Lock likely playing.
It sounds like they're going to push DeVito into that game. I don't know. Cooper Rush, they did beat the Commanders. They're coming off a high. They're at home, and I just think their defense is actually going to show up. Giants are on a 7-game losing streak against Dallas. They've not covered in any of their 6 last games overall either. Dallas just 1-5 against the spread their last 6 games, with that cover being against Washington, their outright win in their last 6. They've not covered in their last 7 home games, though. They're going to win a game at Jerry's World. It's only 3. I'm going to take Dallas.
Yeah,
I think Dallas is the play here.
Wouldn't it be so funny if Dallas put up a stinker on Thanksgiving?
Here's the thing.
Give me the Giants.
What?
Give me the Giants.
All right. Dig your own grave there, my friend. Here's my thing. I think the Giants have jack squat nothing to play for. I think Dallas has a little to play. I'm not saying they're trying to save Mike McCarthy's job. Jerry Jones comes out this week and, well, there's not off the table of an extension for Mike McCarthy. Okay. I'll go Dallas in that one. Night game might be a solid one here. It is Miami taking that trek up to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Packers, the customary 3-point home favorite. What's the weather for this game? Bro, it's going to be 28 degrees. Not expecting much rain with 10-mile-per-hour winds. Okay. Miami resurgence now with 3 straight wins. But they beat New England, Vegas, and a Rams team that seems maybe a little fake. Now, I flip over to Green Bay, wins over Chicago and San Francisco, and they've won 6 out of their last 7 games. Their only loss was to Detroit. Do you trust Green Bay to keep things rolling here? Do you trust them to not have a slip-up game here? That's going to be my biggest questions when you go through that. Both teams relatively healthy. Romeo Doubs probably not going to play. He's got a concussion, so they should be good to go. Miami is shockingly 4-1 against the spread their last 5, but they don't play Green Bay that well. Miami is just 1-5 straight up and against the spread their last 6 games against the Packers. Packers 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games. Ryan, they've only covered 1 of their last 5 games though. Yeah. Packers are 8-3 straight up, 11 games at home. Packers 2-4 against the spread their last 6 games on a Thursday at home. Do you trust Tua?
He's been playing damn well.
He's been playing really well. I'll go with the hot team. I'll go Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami as well. Although I'll probably regret it.
I'd like it more at 4.5. But I'll take him at 3. All right, our Black Friday game, and it's going to be a dark one there because this should be a butt-whooping between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Chiefs are a 12-point home favorite over the Raiders. They don't have Gardner Minshew anymore. Is it going to be Spencer Rattler? I don't know. Now, the question on this one, the Chiefs, are they covering against bad teams? Not really. Right up here from Tony Farmer. Raiders aren't a very good team, but they match up well against Kansas City. Raiders upset KC on Christmas last season. They'll be feisty in this holiday battle. Brock Bowers moving the chains for the Raiders, who might be able to get the backdoor stinky cover. Sometimes that'll happen. Also supposed to be freezing at this game, 37 degrees. We'll see. Raiders 2-5 against the spread their last 7 games, but they're only 1-7 straight up in their last 8 games against Kansas City. 1-6 straight up their last 7 games on the road. Flip over for KC. They've actually not covered in their last 5 games. They are 16-1 in their last 17 games played. Didn't cover against Carolina. Outright lost to Buffalo, didn't cover against Denver, didn't cover against Tampa Bay, and their prior meeting, they only beat the Raiders 27-20 a few weeks ago. Now, do you trust Vegas to get under that number? I don't.
You know how I feel about
Give me
Kansas
KC.
No. Give me the Raiders.
You don't trust KC.
Dude, they're not. No.
They don't cover. I get it. I 100% get it. They don't cover, but we'll see. All right, so our Sunday slate, we start at U.S. Bank Stadium. The 9-2 Vikings welcoming in the 6-5 Cardinals, who I think might suck. I can't get a vibe on this Cardinals team. Minnesota is a 3.5-point home favorite. Now, Arizona is 4-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 5 games. I'll give you one team that they play atrociously against. Minnesota. Arizona's 0-4-1 against the spread their last 5 games against Minnesota. In their last 17 games, Arizona's only won 4 of them against Minnesota. Arizona 4-13 straight up on the road. And they're on a 10-game losing streak at Minnesota. You'll flip over for the Vikings, 9-2 straight up. 9-1 straight up their last 10 games and played on a Sunday here. Arizona with a bit of a shocking loss to Seattle. That ends their 4-game win streak. For Minnesota on a 4-game win streak, but they beat Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Chicago. Kind of barely. It's in a dome. You go first.
I would be going Minnesota.
If I'm thinking about this much, I might as well just take Arizona. What the hell? Arizona.
Oh, Charles is giving us his picks.
Oh, Charles is taking.
I think he's going Bears. Bears, Giants, Dolphins, Chiefs.
Bears, Giants, Miami, KC. And I'm sorry, what do you take there?
Chiefs.
Minnesota. Well, we'll get those in a second.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Houston AFC South battle as they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Houston, a 5-point road favorite. All the conversation this week has been about C.J. Stroud. Is he broken? What's going on with them?
Cardinals.
Join me on that. I'm just going to take Houston in this game straight up, 5-point road favorites. I think Jacksonville is just dead in the water. I've not even heard scuttlebutt that Trevor Lawrence is going to come back at all whenever that happens. So I'm not buying it here. Houston's 2-4 straight up in their last 6, but they own Jacksonville. They're on a 5-game win streak at Jacksonville. They're 11-2 straight up their last 13 games against the Jags. I think they'll little brother them here. Jacksonville has been covering, though. They're 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games. They are 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games at home. It's only 5. I think Houston being down a little bit from last week helps that line. I'll take them.
So is Trevor for sure not playing?
I haven't heard anything.
Because if so, then I will take even though they lost the Titans. I don't know.
So Trevor Lawrence practiced this week, and they'll see where he's at.
You know what? Give me the Jags in hopes that Trevor Lawrence
plays. He's going to play?
If he does, yeah. Charles is going to Texas.
I already put Houston in, so that's fine. So you're going to go Jags. Charles fans will go Houston. All right, Indy up in New England to take on the Patriots. 2.5-point road favorites here for the Colts. Again, it's like if Anthony Richardson... the battle of Drake May, Anthony Richardson. Colts have covered 7 out of their last 10 games, but they're just 1-4 straight up in their last 5, and they don't play New England well. 3-6 against the spread their last 9 games against the Patriots, 2-9 straight up in their last 11. That's obviously very historic there. The Colts are 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games on the road. You flip it over for New England. They are just 3-7 against the spread their last 10, 2-9 straight up in their last 11, 1-9 straight up in their last 10 games at home. Indy's season is on life support at this point. And New England got that nice win over Chicago. They beat the Jets. I wanted to take New England in this one. They're at home. I'll take the Colts. I can't do New England. I can't do it. They're going to cover. Trust me. I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul that New England is going to cover that. I have to take the Colts, though.
No, I'm going Colts.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The Colts. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Colts.
I think that's the right call.
Charles Colts.
I think Colts, too, as well. You know me and locks, buddy boy. And I got one for you.
Then I will be going the opposite.
It is the Chargers.
Wait, don't say your lock
in the dirty
yet.
South.
Okay, what's the...
To take on the Atlanta Falcons. Chargers, 2-point road favorites. I can't give you the trends without leaking my pick. I don't.
You're 100%. Your lock is Chargers minus 2.5.
Okay.
Right?
Chargers 4-1 against the spread their last 5. 4-1 straight up in their last 5. They play well against Atlanta. They are 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games against Atlanta, but they're only 4-8 straight up in their last 12, excuse me. Atlanta comes in. They've not covered in their last 5 home games against the Chargers. LA coming in after a close, all right game against Baltimore that ended their 4-game losing streak. Falcons come in, losers of 3 of their last 5, 2 straight to Denver, and a shocker against New Orleans. Go ahead. Chargers -2 on the road.
I'm going Chargers -2.5. Don't tell me your lock is Atlanta. No, it's not.
Fly, baby!
No
fly!
way.
Falcons lock!
Why would that be your lock?
J.K. Dobbins ain't gonna play in this game.
So what?
It is the Falcons. This is one of those wins that you just feel it.
You're fried.
I just feel it.
You're
that
fried.
it is the Atlanta Falcons on this one.
You're so fried.
I'm telling you, they're gonna win this game.
You're so
They're
fried.
winning this game outright.
You're fried.
Give me the 2. It's Atlanta all day, buddy.
You're fried.
All day. I don't trust the Chargers. I haven't trusted the Chargers all season. All right.
You're fried.
I'm taking it. This is I have. You want to know why? This is one of those games that I have zero rhyme or reason to take the Falcons,
but
that's why they're going to win and cover.
But it's a lock.
But it's a lock.
Interesting.
Atlanta.
I'll be going
are they
Chargers.
Not coming off their bye? They
Yes,
are.
They are. Yeah.
Short week Chargers.
Don't cur.
Dobbins hurt.
Don't cur.
Falcons. Everybody's on Quentin Johnston's ass for dropping passes.
Yeah, he can't catch anything.
It is what it is. My coach used to say you couldn't catch a cold or well, he used to always say that Walmart's got a blue light special on hands. Better go pick some up while you're at it.
Yeah.
Couldn't catch a cold in a bacteria ward. What he used to always say. Couldn't catch a cold in a bacteria ward. It is what it is. All right, AFC North battle at Paycor Stadium. How are the Bengals favored in this game? 2.5-point favorites over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I guess they just like the offense here for Cincinnati. We'll see. Now, here's the crazy thing. In their last 10 games, Pittsburgh is 6-4 against the Bengals. But overall, Pittsburgh coming in 5-1 against the spread. Their last 6 games, 5-1 straight up as well. Pittsburgh is riding a 14-4 straight up against Cincinnati in their last 18 games. Last 11 games that Pittsburgh has played down there at Paycor, Paul Brown Stadium, whatever, they're 9-2 on the road against Cincinnati for Pittsburgh. You flip it over for the Bengals. They are 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games, and again, as I mentioned, they don't play well at home against the Steelers. Steelers coming off reeling off the loss against us, which ended their 5-game win streak. Cincinnati has lost 3 out of their last 5 to the Chargers, Baltimore, and Philly. And I think if you were buying Bengals stock, you would say those are 3 pretty good damn teams. Those are 3 playoff contending teams right there. For Pittsburgh, I trust it was snowy. A lot of things happened there. Is it Cincy here?
I'm going Cincinnati.
I think I will too.
Also, Daniel Jones is signing with the Minnesota Vikings.
Here's my shock face.
Yeah.
You knew it's weird. Yeah, you knew 100% it's weird. All right, we'll go Cincinnati on both those. -2 at home. Seattle with the long trip to take on the Jets. Seahawks are just a 2-point favorite. Odd Shark likes the Jets to win by 10, though. Huh. You got all of this drama with Aaron Rodgers. You got leaks coming out. The Jets think Sauce Gardner is cooked. Worried about his regression. Huh. Let's see what we got here. Seattle coming in 5-0. They're riding a 5-0 streak against the Jets, covering in all 5 of those games. Seattle, we know, Geno Smith, 1,000 times better on the road. They're 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games on the road, but they're only 1-5 straight up their last 6 games on the road against the Jets. Jets coming in covering just 1 of their last 8 games. They've only won 1 of their last 8, and they're 3-7 against the spread their last 10 games at home. Seattle coming in 2 straight wins over Arizona and San Francisco. Jets coming in 2 straight losses to Arizona and Indianapolis. I'll take the common denominator here. Jets lost to Arizona. Seattle beat Arizona. Seattle -2 on the road.
Sound logic, man. I'll join you on that.
Here we go. Commies a 5.5-point home favorite, trying to lick their wounds after last week, welcoming in the Titans, who got a shocking win. You want to take a break?
Yeah.
No, I know. Noah's right there. I thought, it is 10:30. Damn it. All right, pause it. We got 5 games to go. Noah, Titans, Commies. We're going to make this pick with you right now. Commanders are 5.5-point home favorites over the Titans. What do you like?
I don't know. I feel like I take Titans with the points.
Okay. You be our fan one. Sorry to Charles. I'll let you. You're going to take our fan one in this one.
I mean, Commanders again.
Are they broken?
Week, yeah, it's what I don't know. So maybe they bounce back, but
I think they will. I'll give Washington here. Titans are like upstart. Right? They got that big win. I think Washington will get it put together. Ryan, quickly your picks are. Commies 5.5 at home against the Titans.
Commies, give it back.
Yeah, we'll go with that. All right, Noah Weiskopf. Forgot it was 10:30. I didn't know we were flying through our picks here. As always, follow him on Twitter X at Browns with Noah. Noah, we're here now. We got the big one on Thursday. It seems like it was a month ago. They got to go till Monday against the Broncos. And we had a lot of conversation this week about Kevin Stefanski and what that game on Thursday meant about keeping that locker room together, seeing better effort. Do you feel like there was a collective sigh of relief, like a collective just let's breathe? Do you feel things have loosened up with the Browns after that big one over the Steelers?
I think so. It was a big win up against a division rival. They've had trouble with Pittsburgh in the past, just in general. That's been their number one sort of rival outside of Baltimore, really, the two of them. But yeah, I think it was a huge win. I think that in those conditions, having all those guys be able to come together, and they went down there late and then ended up coming back, like that was a gritty win against a really good team. I think that was really impressive, and to see all those guys pull together and go get that win, I think that was big for the locker room. I do.
It seems like a weekly thing, but just the progress steps here of Jameis Winston, where every week you're trying to find ways that he's showing he should be the guy. And we talked a lot about the draft order now, where the Browns are down to 8. I frankly think we're going to keep falling. No, I think we're going to win a couple other games. I think there are other teams tanking. But I'm buying into that this might not even be the draft that you want to have a top pick for a quarterback. And that all kind of leads back to Jameis. You know, we've had discussions about other guys, and, you know, the pool is starting to get a little more diluted, right? Like what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, what's going on with Cousins and Darnold, all that kind of stuff. All my answers, no, just keep coming back to Jameis Winston. As the weeks go on, do you feel like it's just a foregone conclusion now that the Browns are going to get that contract done with Jameis and bring him back on maybe a 2-year deal or something like that?
I don't think it's anywhere close to being done, that's their decision. To be honest, like I know we talk about it every week, and it's definitely worthwhile to talk about, but I really think that, you know, Jameis, the decision is not going to be made until after the year when you have that big sample size to go back and look at. Of course, after a week in which he leads the Browns to a win over an 8-win Pittsburgh team, of course, Browns fans are going to want to keep him long-term. He led us to this huge win in the snow. This is perfect. His personality, like everything is perfect. And then next week he could go out there and throw a couple interceptions. You could get blown out. So you really have to wait until after the season to really evaluate those kinds of things to see if he's really a quarterback that you want here next year and in the future. So it's hard to pick and make that decision after a win. You have to wait and see over the rest of the season, his sample size, whether you want that or not. And that's what the Browns will do. I know it's hard for a fan to see him go out there and win a game like that. And then, you know, the next week he could go out there and lose a big game and get blown out. So who knows? But ultimately, you're going to have to wait until the end of the season to then look at that big sample size overall and then see what you want to go from there.
Noah Weiskopf joining us, Browns with Noah, Instagram and Twitter, part of the great group over there at the OBR. To go to Denver, I mean, what's the stat? No, they've won there once since like 1980 or something like that. And obviously, we know Elway and just the history with the Broncos. But even recently, it's been a tough place to play. They're going out there early. Jordan Hicks is talking about the altitude. It's just like a mental thing. But I do see a Broncos team. I was really high on Bo Nix coming out of the draft. He's played well. He's maybe the front runner now for Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's just so funny to see that in the preseason when we were all hyped up, like, Broncos, that's an easy win. Now it's flipped on that. But I just think there's something about this game that I could see the Browns totally winning again if they play just the defense. That's it for me. I think if they're going to win on Monday night, it's going to have to be Myles Garrett getting a couple of sacks and that defense really trying to stifle Denver. And I guess really my question, Noah, is when you look at Denver, I almost ask, how are they doing this? You know, Cortland Sutton's a fine player. They're rotating some of the backs back there. Javonte Williams is fine, and Bo Nix having a fine year. But I still kind of go, man, how are the Broncos doing this?
Their defense is really impressive. Bo Nix, I think it's big for him to be able to come as a rookie, come into this league and then, have that almost veteran-like approach of like, he's played that much college football where he's really able to have a good grasp on a lot of different things, seeing coverages, those kinds of things. He's really able to do that well. And I've always been sort of on the side of things where Cortland Sutton, I've always thought he's really talented. It was just a matter of getting him to connect with the quarterback and him getting enough targets to be able to make it consistent. And it's funny, ironically, with Jerry Jeudy there, he never really had that opportunity. And now Jeudy gets a new start. He gets to go back to Denver in a revenge game. And then Sutton has been, I don't know what exactly, but he has to be top something in yards the past however many weeks. Like, he's been extremely impressive. And I've always thought that he's had those sort of physical traits. He's a big wide receiver. It was just a matter of everything coming together. But that paired with the defense, I think, is really impressive. And then, on the Browns side of things, Myles Garrett's going to be key again. I think he firmly put himself back in that Defensive Player of the Year picture just based on sack numbers, and then having the game he did in the snow in prime time, and then going out there after the game and sort of making that statement that I am the number one defender, I am the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. I think that was big too, and sort of opening a lot of people's eyes around the league of saying like, despite the Browns' record, like, Myles is still here. Myles is still putting up these sack numbers. And it's harder not having another pass rusher on the line that's like a Zadarius Smith that's going to take up a lot of attention. So it's really just him, but he's got a lot to play for. So he's still very much firmly in the mix, like I said, for this Defensive Player of the Year award. So I know that he's going to want to go out there and get a win, get sacks, make an impact, and so will the defense as a whole.
No, but it's kind of nice to have a week where things were nice and quiet, not much going on, getting ready to go for Monday night. But I got to ask you about Saturday. The Buckeyes! No, I think this is a runaway. Is it not? Like, again, I'm a Michigan hater. I cannot stand them. And I want to believe in everything that I see with Ohio State. Like, obviously, the McLaughlin injury was tough to have to overcome. Seems like Jeremiah Smith is fine, which is great. Dude, I want them to keep running Travion Henderson. I don't mean to crap on Judkins. I think he's fine. Running Henderson. That defense is playing finally how I thought they were. I see all those names littered. I feel like I've been waiting for Jack Sawyer for 3 years to finally show up and be the player that he has. No, I think this is an easy breeze for Ohio State Saturday. Ground me or agree with me. Tell me what you think about Ohio State, Michigan on Saturday.
Wait, so the Browns news today that Myles Harden was elevated.
I love Myles Harden. I do, and I'm glad he's off IR. Noah, I started this, and I got my stuff ready to go, and I said I refuse to ask Noah about Jedrick Wills. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm not going to ask you about him and Tremaine Ifedi anymore. I'm frankly done with it. I'm glad you brought up the Myles DPOY. I was going to ask you about that, so you brought it in. So I was like, you know what? We got to talk some Buckeyes with Noah today. No offense to Myles Harden. I'm glad he's back.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
So my mindset essentially on this game, my prediction almost without giving you a score, unless that's what you want, but I'm always wrong with those. So I think that this game, it starts very similar to how the Indiana game was. I think that the structure of the game that they play Michigan will be very similar to the game this past weekend. I think that Ohio State almost starts out a little tense. In fact, I'd be surprised if they didn't. That's tends to be how they start games, period, especially in a big game like this. Everyone in that locker room knows what's on the line. Ryan Day knows what's on the line. He said, I'm sure you saw in that interview, it's up there with his loss of his father.
Lost his father. Yeah, I mean, which is crazy.
Right after. So, everyone knows how much this means. And so, I do think they get a win, and it's hard for me to imagine a world in which they don't run up the score at the end of the game. I think that if they're in that position, they're going to keep throwing the ball. They're going to keep scoring. But I think they win. I think it starts off a little sluggish. I wouldn't be surprised to see a low-scoring first half, but I think Ohio State in the second half will be able to pull away. I mean, I wrote a story for the Lantern, and I talked to Joel Klatt and Josh Pate, two of the biggest college football analysts, just to get their perspective. And Josh Pate gave me a phenomenal quote about how, first of all, they're going to emphatically win this game. And second of all, they are going to be running up the score. And he used some intense words to describe it. That's at the end of the story there. I think that the general sense around college football is that they're going to win this game. And to me, the way I look at it is either they're playing in Indianapolis or it gets really ugly really quick. So something interesting and something big is going to come out of this game. It's just a matter of what. But yeah, I think Ohio State gets a big win, but I don't think it's a blowout all the way through.
So we were talking about this earlier, that the Ohio State, I want to say sickness of some of the fans, but like the national championship versus beating Michigan. And there are people out there that would rather beat Michigan than win national championships. And I think it's part of the reason why Ryan Day has caught so much flack, because he really hasn't done either. You know, he went to the one national championship, didn't win it, and then he was on this losing streak with Michigan. For all he can do Saturday, Noah, is beat Michigan, and I'm with you. I think they will. Good. Then it's off to the national championship. But it is crazy that there are people out there that put this game in such high regard. And I understand. I'm a lifelong Ohio State fan. I cannot stand Michigan. But no, I'd always rather go on to win national championships. That's just more important to me.
And I think that's totally valid. And that's how a lot of Ohio State fans are, honestly. Of course, like beating Michigan is just a step in that direction. You have to do that really in order to win the whole thing, theoretically. I think it's interesting too to hear a lot of fans talk about how they would rather have the 5 seed in this new expanded playoff than the 1 seed. I think that honestly is a flaw in this whole playoff thing.
Yeah.
I think that they fix that after this season, because there's a very logical point there to have a home game right now, looking at it, against Arizona State and then play Boise State instead of having to play a Georgia or one of those teams. I think that is a flaw. And I think that I saw yesterday, Joel Klatt had tweeted something about that flaw and said that it's a super easy fix. And I agree with him. It's reseed after the first round. I think that clears everything up. Reseed, make the number 1 seed, be able to play the lowest seed that there is. But yeah, I think for right now, a lot of Ohio State fans, obviously all of them want to beat Michigan, want to win a Big Ten title, but then comes, not having that number 5 seed home playoff game type of thing, instead having the bye and playing one of those teams.
Yeah, and I think my other answer on this, because we had a long discussion today on the playoff and the 12 team and kind of how to fix it, because it is broken, but it's still kind of funny to say it's broken, but yet it still works and there's no real reason to fix it. And the easy answer for me, no, is just remove the guaranteed bye for conference champion. Come out and say, conference champion, you are guaranteed to make it, but we're still going to respect the rankings, where, Boise State can make it, but we're still going to, and this is crazy too, right? Imagine if Boise State came out to the ranking and they were like 18th, but they win their conference, they're going to make it. Well, then you would just put them at 12. And so sorry, sad to the 12 team that doesn't make it, that should have made it, whatever, fine. Guarantee them, but don't guarantee them the bye. And then you could do it, Ohio State, or even, okay, so I don't have the exact rankings up, but like, what was it? Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Georgia, right? Am I misremembering that? Right? Give them the top 4 byes. You're also doing what? Would we ever live in a world that the Big Ten or SEC champion wouldn't be one of the top 4 teams? I doubt that highly. So it's almost like giving you what you want. Honoring the Big Ten and the SEC, who deserve it more than the ACC or the Big 12 or anybody else. They're probably still going to be in the top 4, and just say, conference champion, you are guaranteed to make it, but we're still going to run with the rankings on this one.
Yeah, the only problem with that to me is, like, with the Boise State situation, is they're a 1-loss team, and say they go on and win the championship, and it's like they're a 1-loss team and their loss came to Oregon, I believe, right? So you're almost not punishing, but you're really punishing a team in Boise who ran the table. Their only losses to Oregon, and then you're putting them in an away playoff game against a team that that they're not going to win. So it's hard. I don't know if there's that. I think the best way to do it is just to reseed after the first round.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense. I think that's most fair to everyone. But overall, like, I do like the expanded playoffs. I know a lot of people don't. I think that it makes things a lot more interesting throughout the regular season, and I like the drama that comes with it.
No, I love it because it's more football, but it just needs to be tweaked. And this is the first year. I'm sure they'll figure it out. It certainly helps the big teams, which if you're a fan of Ohio State like I am, then that helps my team. It all kind of works out. There's just got to be some tweaking to it. There's got to be a few things they got to change up. All right, Noah, we really appreciate it. We'll be following Browns with Noah, Twitter, Instagram. We'll talk to you next week. We got Monday Night Football, Ohio State, Michigan, Cavs are in action. We'll talk about all of it next week. Appreciate it, Noah. Have a very happy Thanksgiving with your family as well.
Thank you. You guys too.
There he goes. Noah Weisskopf, Browns with Noah. He subtly told us, Ryan, he doesn't like the cover, maybe.
Yeah.
He said close. But would not give us the prediction. All right, you got the grid. We got 4 more games to go. You want to run through the games quick? Here we go. Rams traveling to take on the Saints. Rams 3-point favorite. They're good and angry. They're good and pissed off. Saints still bad. Rams for me, Ryan.
I will go the Rams as well.
LA Rams. We'll get our pick in there. Noah got us the Titans one. Bucks traveling to take on the Panthers. 6-point favorites for Tampa and Baker and crew. Carolina feeling better about themselves. This one's stinky.
Stinky.
Stinky. I think the Bucks got a little momentum back. You know, Mike Evans is back. They're running the ball. They still see themselves in this one. I guess Tampa Bay it is. -6 is a lot.
That is a lot of points.
I don't know if I like that. Go ahead.
I will go Tampa.
Yeah, okay. That's fine enough. Philly traveling to take on the Ravens. Ravens 3-point favorite.
What? What is that? What is that?
Is that a lock?
Ravens -3?
Is that a lock?
Are you asking me?
No, I got the lock. And then if I said, it could be either one, right?
I'm so confused. What?
I did this. This means a lock. This means I have a lock.
Oh, I didn't
for
know
this
that's-
game.
okay,
Sorry, I have a lock.
Okay.
Then, unlike Atlanta, when I go like this,
Right?
it works for both of them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But who would win in a fight between an Eagle and a Raven?
Probably an Eagle.
Philly. All day in this
so?
game.
Hell
Philly.
no!
Philly.
Give me the Ravens.
What? Philly, buddy.
Ravens are winning that game, Buster.
Oh, no. Philly's winning.
No, they're not.
They're unstoppable right now.
No.
Baltimore's good.
Better coach. Derrick Henry's going to run for 200 yards. Saquon might run for 200 as well.
They got that D-line. Jalen Carter just swallow him on up.
Cap.
Nope. Philly. Baltimore it is. Final one, Sunday Night Football. San Fran up in Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills a 7-point home favorite coming off their bye. I'm going to take the dog again. Give me San Fran. I'm assuming Brock Purdy's going to come back. Or is that line indicative that he's not? What do you think? San Fran. I'm going San Fran. I'm going to take him. God, my pen is...
Are you sure about San Fran?
I'm semi-positive, yeah. I don't know if they'll win. I think they'll cover, though. Buffalo could be a little slow out of the blocks. Do they have enough? Like, I'm also assuming that, again, San Fran is going to be able to play with Brock Purdy.
I'll take San Fran.
This could be a little bit of a bounce-back game there for Christian McCaffrey, too,
I hope.
as he gets back. So I'll take San Fran in that one as well. So, again, I'll take Chicago. Ryan will take Detroit -11. I will take Dallas -3.5. He will take the Giants +3.5. We both like Miami +3 at Lambeau to take on Green Bay. I will take KC -12 against the Raiders. Ryan will take the Raiders. I like Arizona +3.5 against Minnesota. I don't like it. Ryan took Minnesota on that one. Jacksonville, Houston, we're split. I'll take Houston -5. You take the Jags. We both like Indy -2.5 against New England. I like Atlanta, lock of the week, +2 against the Chargers. Ryan likes the Chargers. We both like Cincy -2.5 against Pittsburgh. We both like Seattle, 2-point road favorites over the Jets. We both like Washington -5.5 against the Titans at home. We both like the Rams -3 at New Orleans. We both like Tampa Bay -6 on the road against Carolina. He likes Baltimore against Philly, -3 at home for the Ravens. I'll take Philly on the road to win there. We both take San Francisco +7 against Buffalo.
Where'd you leave off with, Charles?
So here's what I need from the Charles. I need Atlanta Chargers.
Okay, wait, so here, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead, just rip it.
Chargers, Steelers, Seahawks,
Okay.
Titans, Panthers, Rams, Ravens, 49ers.
All right, wait,
Ravens, 49ers.
Panthers, Ravens,
49ers.
San Fran.
And you gave Browns, but we'll do that Monday.
Yeah, we'll do that Monday with the Browns. So save that one and get going. All right, you want to do the grid for fun? Giveaway, by the way. Follow us at Matt Fontana.
Do you want to do the grid?
I mean, time hop's pretty short today.
Well, we need like 7 minutes.
I know. Well, can we do a quick one? I do have movies I'd like you to guess on.
Yeah, quick timeout.
You want to do grid or timeout?
I'd rather timeout.
All right, do timeout. I'd rather do grid.
Really?
Let's just peek at it after timeout. We'll see.
Okay.
We got to do our Cavs parlay. Damn it.
Dude, we have like no time.
We have no
That's
time.
what I'm saying.
All right, quick. All right, we're just going to do movies. All right, number 8, Ohio State beat Michigan this day, 2010. Terrell Pryor, 2 touchdowns in that game. There's a report this day, 2012, that John Gruden could get ownership stake in the Browns if he took the coaching job at Tennessee. And do you remember the skunk at the Browns game?
Yeah, I do.
That was 1 year or 2 years ago today. 2 years ago today. All right, movies, quick. This day, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
There's already been a sequel. There's another one coming out. The Ultimate Murder Mystery movie, in my opinion.
Knives Out.
I love that movie.
Great movie.
Knives Out is great. All right, this day,
Fantastic
2013. I told you to let it go.
Frozen.
That is correct. This day, 1985, one man solved the Cold War. One man single-handedly ended the Cold War.
What? Hellboy?
No.
One man solved the Cold War.
All right, we had this movie as one of the biggest sports franchises of all time. This was a sequel.
Oh, Mighty Ducks.
No.
The Miracle.
No.
What?
No. I give you the same hint I gave last time.
A
sometimes
sports
in hockey,
movie?
Yeah, sometimes in
Ends
hockey.
the Cold War?
Yeah. It's a joke because they started cheering for him at the end of the movie. The bad guys started cheering for him at the end of the movie. All right, in hockey, sometimes they do what?
Box? Oh, Rocky.
Rocky
2.
4. Drago.
I've never seen Rocky.
Drago. Spoiler alert, he kills Apollo. He goes over and then fights, and then after everybody's out cheering for him, and they're like, yeah, man, he solved the Cold War. Yeah. All right. Can I just look at the grid? I just want to look at the grid.
Yes, we can look at the grid.
I just want to look at the grid. It's a good vibe. All right, Cavs. I'm taking a minus the 10 tonight, by the way.
I guess, I mean, the Browns are in it.
All right, quick.
All right, man.
All right, first team All-Pro. It's got to be... Actually, a good one would be Michael Thomas. Oh, is that how you're putting? Nice. Joe Thomas.
A lot of Thomases.
Yep. Can we think of one there? Well,
no.
Brady... Well, we can just go Gronk. All right, Gronk.
We got to rip this fast.
Yep. Baker. Sean Watson.
Well, Saints, Buccaneers.
Oh, I don't know. I can't think of one quick. Watson.
No, Brandon Cooks didn't play for the Patriots, did he?
No, but I wanted to. Oh my God. There's one screaming there. What is it?
Is it a running back?
It's a receiver.
Andre Johnson? I don't think he played.
No. It's not like Edelman. Somebody like that. Danny Amendola?
Did he play for the Texans?
That's maybe what I'm thinking of. I know. I want to say Danny Amendola. That's who I'm thinking of. I don't know if it's actually correct, but that's who I want to say.
That's Brandon Cooks.
That is Brandon Cooks. All right, then Saints Bucks. All right, Mike Glennon, no. Breeze, no. Gabbert. Kickers?
No.
Cody Parkey?
I don't think so.
Mike Allstott?
I don't think so.
Well done. All right. I think Danny Amendola.
All right. I mean, whatever. It's not like it's for anything.
I don't think so. Yeah! Nice!
Look at you.
Nice! Nice! All right, here we go. Cavs 10
Brian
points.
Hoyer would have worked.
What's that?
Brian Hoyer.
Oh, good call. Yeah, Brian Hoyer. There we go. All right, last 10. Actually, the Hawks are 6-4 in their last 10 games against the Cavs, but we'll see how it goes. All right, coming into this one, I actually like the under for tonight. It's 240, and that's pretty high because Atlanta's coming in. They only average 115 points per game, and Cavs are at 123. So I kind of like the Cavs minus 10, under 240. Donovan's got to be good for 20, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd think.
Rebounds, Mobley, 7. I like Mobley for 10 points tonight. That's already a plus 425. Anything else you like? 3's made. 2 for Donovan. 2 for Darius.
1 for Mobley.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Trae Young will hit 1. Probably.
Ty Jerome, 30 points.
He's not on here for some reason. All right, Mitchell to hit 1.
Yeah.
That doesn't really boost anything for me. All right, I'm at plus 1,000. So
There you go.
they're done and done. Gobble, gobble. Done, done. I'll take it all night long. All right, go follow at Matt Fontana 83. Retweet for your chance to win that Donovan Mitchell jersey. We're off for Thanksgiving, so we'll be back on Monday. Folks, really appreciate y'all. You know, in the time of Thanksgiving and you're thankful for so many things, I'm very thankful to be able to do this. This is awesome. We appreciate all your support. Following us at Matt Fontana Show, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. Have a safe travel. Go fill the gas tanks up today. Do the dad thing. Go to the gas station today. Stay out of the store. I got to go to the store right after this ride. I'm going to be helping with old ladies getting last things going. But enjoy. Hopefully you're out there with your families, you know, if you're going shopping, be safe. And all the people I got to work too. You know, there's plenty of people. Like Drug Mart is always open on every holiday, right? It's all the people that got to work as well. Thank you for doing that. Sit back, enjoy the football, enjoy your time with the family. We appreciate you being part of our family here on the show. Thank you so much. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football. We're back for Monday Night Football. Go Cavs, go Blue Jackets, and go Buckeyes. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. And as always, take it easy.